G'day everybody and welcome back to Baltic CA Farming Truckers Challenge. Okay, so the field across the road just over there that we bought in last episode, I was just going to simply plough up and start working. But it's come to my attention that we literally have money sitting on the ground. So I'm going to get to, and I'm going to rent a mower here, and I'm also going to rent a baler. Now, a smart me would have gone for a large baler, for bales that I can just pick up and throw. But what I'll do is I'll do some baling, using this one here. Once again, we'll just rent that. I'm not that worried about it. We'll just do 4,000 litre ones. So I'll need to rent a tractor with a with bale spikes and all that sort of stuff, but that can happen at a later point. At this stage, we can worry about that later. We will get to cut it, bale it, and hopefully we'll be able to make some money out of this. So let's lower and turn it on. Okay. Well, had to wait till we got to our own land before it'd start cutting. So, yeah, so this episode, I was gonna, as I said, I was gonna get this, make this into an arable field, but I think it's actually going to be more to our advantage as just, as a grass field where we can, turn it into hay or silage or whatever else. I mean, this map doesn't pay a great deal for that sort of stuff, but at this point we're chasing every cent that we can get. So yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll put this onto a time lapse here. I'm afraid this episode is going to be more of a time lapse. Actually, before I put this onto a time lapse, I've got a bit of explaining to do to you. Last week I only managed to get the 2 videos out for a few reasons. I had planned on doing some work on Friday. However, as I did mention, the wife and I went and got the COVID jabs. Now, I was fine, which is actually surprising. I came out fine. I had a bit of a dead arm, but I've been told that's normal. Whereas on the other hand, Mrs. G, the one with an actual immune system, she's actually still feeling it. So we got that done on the Thursday. I was expecting not to be able to record on the Thursday. That was a bit of a... what am I caught on? That was a bit steep there. So I was expecting not to record on the Thursday. That was fine. I was prepared for that. What I wasn't prepared for, I'm going to have to come back and go the other way, was on the Friday, my wife had an event where she works, which, well, basically I've been a cook for 20 years-ish. I've been in and around kitchens my entire adult life. So anyway, I turned up to this event, and the poor lady's running it they were trying to scramble together and get all the fruit platters and everything like that made. Now, again, being in the industry for 20 odd years, near enough to 20 years, I saw the debacle that they were going through, and I wasn't dressed up to actually be doing any serving, but I was able to get to and do all their chopping and get the fruit platters and all that sort of stuff done up for them, so at least that was one thing off their minds. So there went Friday. And then, you know, as you guys know, I don't record on my weekends. That's my family time. That's where I get to spend my time with little Miss G, and yeah. So anyway, that's a bit of my explanation for the reason why I only put out the 2 videos last week. Okay, and as to why I'm doing a Baltic Sea, a Farming Truckers challenge today, is because I just thought I'd change it up. Mondays I do like to make it for my own series, the Valley View Farm, which, as I've said a few times, I like to base as in it's here in Queensland where I reside. So yeah, just in case any of you were worrying and worried concerned as to how things went. Yeah, all in all, well, I did well, which again surprised both of us. I went well. Mrs. G, on the other hand, not so well. So alright, after all that yakking away, we don't really have... This is actually a lot bigger than what I was expecting. Maybe I should have gone for the twin mower. But anyway, plans for this field. We'll need to rent a tractor to... we'll need to rent a tractor so as we can, and bale forks so that we can load them up. Not exactly sure how we're going to transport them yet. I'm not even sure if we've got the money yet to be able to rent everything that we need, but as I said, I just thought that this was literally money on the ground. I don't have to do anything to it except for cut it, which, as you can see, having a bit of fun doing that now. And yeah, alright, so I'll chuck a time lapse in. You'll see me both cut and bale this, and then I'll come back and talk in the next piece, I suppose. Okay, so see you in a little while. Okay, I know I said I wouldn't be back until I'd finished all this, but as you saw, I've hired a windrower because, well, that's going to make things so much easier on me down there. Right, now how does this windrower work? I've never actually used one of these, well, this specific one before. It would appear I've got to go in the other way. Okay, As always, I'm currently going with the cheapest of the cheap at the moment. Okay, so it's going to windrow to that side. What in the world does that mean? Oh, okay. That's alright. Look, some of this is new to me, okay? So, alright. Now, just something that I was thinking of as I was doing that was, as I just mentioned, I've been cooking for the majority of my life. I've started baking our own bread. Quite literally, water, yeast, flour. Honestly, if you've never given bread a go, I highly recommend it, to be honest. It tastes a lot better than what you're going to buy at the shops. Just by my fence line there. And it's so easy. Yeah, it takes a little while, but both the wife and child, so both Mrs. G and little Miss G, they were absolutely hoeing into it when I made it. It was as though I'd invented, chocolate or something like that. And yeah, my wife apparently was just telling her boss, and this week again they've got another event, and well, guess who's now been nominated to do a live demonstration on how to make bread. It's not that I mind being volunteered for stuff. In fact, I quite enjoy just going out and showing off. Well, just going out and showing off. But yeah, honestly, Jamie Oliver has a dead simple recipe on YouTube. You guys know I'm not backward in coming forward with promoting others. In fact, I'm more than happy to promote any channel online, especially if you're doing something different, or whatever. I'm not judgy. But yeah, it takes a little bit of time. I'm not going to deny that. But the flavour and the texture is, well, really well worth it. Okay, how do I change the speed on this? Let's just put this down to not 1. Let's go to 10 kilometres an hour. That's going to be a little bit better on me. Right. Now I'm not going to be running into here and there and everywhere. Okay. So, what was I saying? Making your own bread. It's not as hard as people think. Just give it a go. You can't, of course you can stuff it up, but yeah, you can't really go wrong. It's a delicious way to get some, well, fibre into your diet, and yeah. Alright, well, I'm going to get to and do this. I'll once again chuck this onto a time lapse so as it's less painful for you guys. And part of the time lapse, this time, I promise you, I will just simply bring you back after everything's bailed. I promise, maybe, sort of. Alright, see you in a few. Okay, so while I was doing my time lapse, I've realised for whatever reason I can't use that for a baler. So yes, it needs 90 horsepower, but I'm gonna rent this Fent here. Said I'm gonna rent my Fent. It's 10 horsepower too short, but hopefully it'll be just enough to run this baler. I really don't understand why, this track, why my multi-tool doesn't want to run it, but all we can do is hope that this will, even if it's downhill and side to side, that'll at least run it. Yeah, it's got me baffled, but anyway. So let's see, as I just said twice, let's see if this will run this baler. Otherwise I'm going to have to do some work for someone else, and that at least turns it on. So we're going downhill okay. Yes, the pickup's lowered. I don't know how well this is going to go uphill. If it does, it'll be kind of a miracle, because, it's 10 horsepower too short. Again, I know I've lied, and I know I said I'd bring yous back when I'd done stuff, but look, the truth is I didn't want to be doing this all in a time lapse without some form of explanation as to why things weren't going according to plan. Okay, I really don't understand this. It may be slow, but it is getting up. Hopefully this bale is not going to get caught on that. Well, I hope this first bale is going to roll back to the unload that bale. Hopefully that's going to roll into the fence. If that'll just stay there, I'm happy with either option. Alright, so let's get this here baled. I'm not terribly great with round balers, just because of the simple fact that you've got to keep an eye on them, and you've got to open them up all the time. That also said, as I don't know if I've mentioned it before, so I'll mention it here and now. While I'm recording, I don't have any sound on, so I'm not hearing the little beeps that this makes when it's ready to open up and getting full. So I actually have to manually look down and see whereabouts we're at. But once again, it's just what I've got to do and how things get done. 100%. Okay. So I know I'm doing a lot of time lapses today, for which I do apologise. Mostly because I'm doing, the only reason why I'm really doing time lapses now is because you haven't seen me do, well, you've seen me do baling once. So I don't think it's fair not to let you see what I'm doing. How many more should I show you before I might just do 2 or 3 more bales with you guys in. Then I might have to give my usual spiel because, well, time is getting on, and even with the time lapses, I'm guessing we are getting up pretty high at this point in time. Alright, so yeah, actually I'm going to call it there. I will bail the rest of this between now and the next episode. What else? Well, thank you very much for watching. I've been Gavino, you've been a wonderful audience. Please, if you like my videos, give me a like down below. Pretty much my videos are Let's Plays, so any hints, tips, tricks, or whatever that you guys know and I'm not showing, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I do read absolutely all of them. You're probably thinking I'd be pretty silly not to read all my comments, but just thought I'd put it out there. Alright. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time. Cheers.